like my Boston Rob fan. I didn't have a thinking.
All right. Things are a little different tonight. Jillian's at my parents'.
Yep.
Videoing in.
Mm-hmm.
It's episode 7. We're in the majors. What is the name? It starts on night 16 on the edge. Parvati's just talking about how she felt nobody was willing to work with her, and that's when Sandra shows up. And Parvati felt like that was a small constellation in her eye, prize, because I think she was kind of out to get Sandra, even though they weren't on the same tribe. So she felt like she got hers, I think, almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And Sandra was kind of talking about how she played with Denise, and Rob thought Sandra gave up her power by giving Denise the power of who went home. He said, like, why didn't you make the decision? You gave her all the power. And then the big shocker of the episode was Sandra chose to go home, and she hoisted that mask and
I never
left the
thought
show.
that was even possible, because she builds herself up as this queen, this goddess, this player that can be all end all, and she raised the flag. And to me, I was like, that just shows what a shitty player you truly are.
Yeah, when she was
My eyes, Kyle
voting away, she said, like, she will always stay the queen, and I just don't agree with that statement at all.
No, I think Denise should be the queen.
I got lots to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, when she decided to go home, it wasn't completely shocked, not as shocked as you two. I thought it was really quick for her to do that. But if you look at it, I was like, yeah, I get it. She's not going to really complete any challenges. The only way she can get back into a game is by completing a challenge. And then I remembered I won $20 from Roe.
Yeah.
Easiest $20 I ever won. Yep. So here's the more I thought about this, the more I was actually pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be one of the biggest scumbag moves in reality TV history when it comes to Survivor. And I'll tell you why. There were 18 other winners who could have been on this season and were not there. She showed up with zero intentions of ever doing any challenges. She said all of them except for the one she had
to compete
in. I guess I never thought of it that way, that there were more people that weren't able to be on it. Yeah.
There was 18 other people who would have showed up. Even if they went to extinction, they would have stuck it out for $2 million. And I'm sorry, but that bitch literally went there with the intention of not doing any challenges. She took, in my opinion, a spot out of somebody that could have had a legitimate shot of winning the $2 million.
No, I agree. I
That's
feel like,
actually a
too,
good
as soon
point.
as she got there, she said to all of them, I don't have anything to prove. I have nothing to prove. I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to try to compete and try to fight my way back in. I've already won twice. I have $2 million. I'm done. But I totally agree with you. I was thinking the same thing as you were talking. There's that many other people
18.
that could have competed and given the opportunity, and she took it away from them and then didn't even try.
For the same reason she went home, for the same reason she should have stayed home and never showed up to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And I still think back to when she was so mad at Rob for not telling her she was coming. Sandra, you should have never been there anyway. You should have never been even a consideration for coming back for this season if there was no intention of playing the real game of Survivor.
Right.
I think it would have been cool if they offered up. I mean, there was 18 other winners, but what if they offered up to the prior season? Who won last season?
Oh, Todd's guy.
Yeah.
So, the red hair, Tommy.
Tommy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tommy,
so what if they said, "Hey, Tommy, if you win, whoever wins this season, what if that's how they announced it? With like when they got down to the final 3, like if they showed them like a tribal in the last season.
I said, hey, do you want to go back?
The winner of this season has the opportunity to go.
The issue is they already had filmed it.
I know that's
the other catch. They already had filmed it, but all right. So then night 16 still, we cut to the Sele tribe, and Yul is pissed at Wendell for tribal because that was when Wendell and like Parvati were talking about possibly voting for somebody else. And so Yul was just very taken back by all that, because we've talked before, Yul's a very stick with the plan player. Like that's how he plays. And that's okay. It's not how everybody plays. So when they get back, he told Wendell that you just put a target on your own back by, oh, of course, Jillian's
It's
drinking.
Rona.
Fitting for this time of
And
year.
I do think it made Wendell kind of think about things a little bit, because I think he, in a way, respected Yul a little bit as like two players that play a little different, but kind of getting his opinion of it. So then we open up on day 17, still the Sele tribe. And this is when Wendell apologized to Michelle for the tribal and what went on, about how she felt like he was undermining her game and how she played because of what things he was saying.
Which I think he's bullshit.
But didn't we find out too
That's a
that he
sincere
gave her?
apology.
She gave him.
Yes. So, and even though that he was apologizing, they continued to argue. Like nothing ever got
Right.
better. They're just
Exactly.
toxic and need to stop talking to each other.
No, they are.
Babe.
And this is when Yul told Michelle that Wendell talked to her in a completely different way to how he talked to Yul. When he talked to Yul, he was very receptive. When she tries to talk to him, he basically like fluffs her off like, you're a stupid woman, you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And so this is when Michelle says that she is really mad at herself because she gave Wendell one of the fire tokens that Parvati gave to her.
Oh, yeah.
So she's kicking
We
herself.
didn't know that in the prior episode.
Because she's like, well, I want to vote him off, but she's like, he has one of my freaking fire tokens. I gave it to him, trying to like prove her loyalty.
Right. Stupid idiot.
So then we're still day 17, and we cut to the edge, and Ethan is talking about the battle of being on the edge, and he's trying to find hope. Ethan knows that high stress, being like this, could cause his cancer to come back. I believe he's beat his cancer twice.
Okay.
And so he's just, I think that's starting to weigh on his mind a little bit. He got very fatigued in the one challenge and kind of collapsed a little bit on that rock.
Yes.
So I think he's just starting to kind of get worried about that. And so him and Parvati were talking, and Ethan, again, was just saying it's not good for his body and the cancer. And Parvati was just encouraging him to stay, like, to be positive. And Ethan then kind of, think it's just wandering around, and he finds the notes at the Edge camp, and everyone has a scroll to open.
To read it together.
And they had to read it together.
One thing real quick, the back up on Parvati, I always thought she was a nasty, nasty thing. Even her name to me, just like, ooh, you hear her name and you shiver. Ooh. But
Yeah.
I actually like her this season a lot more than I thought I would have.
I feel like she had said at the beginning, she's become a mother. Things have changed for her.
Mhm.
She's not the same person she was. She still has a little bit of deviousness in there, a little bit, but I think she's trying to be more open and
But it's Nick's crush.
For sure.
shut up. Anyways, they all have the scroll. They have to read it together. Fire tokens scattered on top of the island. And there's no
love
max
this.
to how many tokens one person can get. Everybody takes off.
Was it 5?
There's 4.
4? Oh,
There was
okay.
a mad
Yeah.
dash, but like it didn't, like it wasn't like you could only get one. You could get all 4 if you could find all 4. So Rob takes off first. He knows immediately where he's like, I've walked these trails the last however many days. I know where the end of all the trails are, where they're talking about.
Hmm.
So he takes off first, but then it cuts to Tyson finding one, and everyone's panicked. Well, where'd you find it? Where was it hidden? And it was seriously just laying like on a rock on the ground in a
Like
little
wrapped
bag.
up.
Very
And so-
obvious of
Yeah.
where it would be. Yeah.
And so everyone's panicking and wants to see what it looks like. And everyone's like, who found the other ones? Who found the other ones? And no one's answering. And then Rob's like, empty your pockets. Pat everybody down, empty your pockets.
And he
Well,
drops
that little weasel. Yeah. Rob takes his pants off. And that's what Kyle picked up on afterwards, because he had the other 3 freaking tokens in his pockets, but took his pants off. No one thought to check his pockets.
Because he got
It's
so
smart.
actually taking off his pants.
Right.
But no one's gonna be like, what about your pockets? And no one's
Right.
gonna
Exactly.
pants sitting on the ground.
Right.
Hmm.
It's a good move.
So, I mean, he's still a sneaky little bastard, but we knew that. So now, still day 17, we cut to the DeKal tribe. And you got Tony running up and down the beach, and everyone's laughing. They seem to be having a good time. Tony is very thankful to Denise that she, quote unquote, dethroned the queen, as he put it. But Jeremy, as you guys have said, Jeremy is kind of flying under the radar this season, but
He's lurking.
his
I think
wheels
he's
are still
dangerous.
spinning. And he's my player, and I always felt like the season he won, he was a very strategic player, not in your face,
Mm-hmm.
under the radar, kind of seeing how things go, taking everything in.
Never
And-
saw him play.
And he is still thinking that Tony's a pretty big threat. Like,
I would agree.
Tony's trying to be all like tee hee ha ha right now, but he's like, I think Tony's a pretty big threat. And so,
I like Tony.
I know.
His spy hut.
You would have that, I know.
but
But Jeremy, it definitely is a sneaky player too. I feel like he could come out of nowhere
it makes him
with some trick up his sleeve. I really
Yeah.
truly do.
Well, he still has that advantage too. I think that's still good.
Oh, where he leaves tribal and nothing
Tribal.
happens
Oh
to him.
yeah, that's
I,
a
d-
good
I
one.
don't know if that's gonna still work in the merge, but I'm curious to see how that plays out. So Kim is worried about the merge. She really likes Jeremy and Denise and would be willing to work with them over Tony, because in the original tribe she was originally in DeKalb, and I
With
felt like
Tyson and
she
all
was like
them.
an outsider there. She was the one that very beginning was kind of targeted for that Super Poker Alliance.
And she was crying and all that.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so she, I think, is definitely willing to kind of throw Tony to the side and work with Denise and Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
And Denise then talks to Kim about a 3 with Jeremy, because I think Denise now knows she solidified Jeremy for the long haul after using that idol on him, to save him.
But she'd be stupid if he didn't go along with that.
Right. And Denise is honest to Kim. She says she wants to go deep in the game with her. And I think they would work.
I
well.
believe her.
They're both, both kind of
They don't try to
similar.
control the game. They just
Yeah, but they're kind of
Play
a
it as it
similar
comes.
calm demeanor. No one's like trying to be the alpha of the two or anything like that. And now it cuts to the Yara tribe to check in. They won the last challenge. They actually had some leftover PB&J for breakfast. I think it's like the first time ever in the history of Survivor they've had leftovers.
I'm still pissed Tyson took the jar of peanut butter.
Oh my
I
god.
think it was a
See, I
good
think it's the
thought.
I
best.
would have eaten the pizza in front of everybody, including Rob.
You would have shit your guts out afterwards.
That's all right. There's plenty of places on an island that shit my guts out.
So Ben and Adam are both starting to get a little paranoid about the idol, because they knew there had to have been one on that island when they went there as a new tribe. And they don't know that Sophie already has it. So Ben and Adam go out searching. And they're
telling the girls too. I think that they were like, "Girl, go out and search for it too."
Right. So Ben is convinced, Adam is convinced for some reason that Sarah has it. I don't know why. There's no logic there.
But out of both of
Convinced that
them,
she-
I would agree too. Out of both of them, because Sophie's very timid and kind of under the radar. Sarah's kind of out there, so I feel like she'd be the one to go out and look for it.
He's
and,
just totally convinced she has it. So Sophie tells Ben and Sarah what Adam said, because Adam had told Sophie that, which is hilarious because Sophie actually has it.
Right. To be honest, I don't know why.
We didn't even eat dinner yet, so there was no carb issues. This
I
time.
worked all day.
So because Sophie and Ben told Sarah, Sarah kind of calls Adam out at camp. And she's like, I don't have the idol. If you want to go through my bags, go ahead. I'll strip down. I don't have it. Stop saying I have it. You're putting a target on me eventually when we merge. I don't have the idol. And so now Adam is like, oh my God, doing damage control again, because he cannot not put his foot in his mouth.
He's sitting in the corner like by himself.
Keep your mouth shut.
He just, shut up. Just shut up and just
I
sit
know.
down. So now we are at day 18, and this is the challenge day. So this is a challenge that was from a few seasons ago when Nick originally played and won.
It's the worst.
And it's that big ass saucer. They have to carry it over these obstacles, fill it with water, and then carry it back over the obstacles. And whenever water is left, dump it into this bucket, trying to lower a bag of puzzle pieces to then complete the puzzle. The season that Nick did this, his tribe didn't even get the puzzle pieces to fall. It's how bad they did. Okay. So it's a challenging one.
That's hard.
The saucer is really heavy. So Yara used a different strategy, and they were the only team to do this. They started very slow, trying to conserve water. So they almost were lapped by the other groups, because the other groups get down there, lost a bunch of water, dump it into the bucket, or the puzzles don't fall.
Who's the
They
tribe
lose
that
as
was
much.
carrying their saucer and they were uneven? They had like 2 girls on one side.
The
2 guys.
call. It was Tony
yeah.
and Jeremy on one side and Denise and Kim on the other, which made no sense
Because
because
they were just
all that
they were
weight.
pushing it back into them.
And then Tony and Jeremy would go up first to go up on like the balance
Right,
beam
and it
thing,
would
and all the
dump it
water
all.
would come down because the girls couldn't hold it.
Right.
But Yara, they almost got lapped, but in their one trip,
Slow and
got
steady.
enough
with
water,
Jerry.
so they didn't fatigue themselves quite as bad either because they weren't carrying it so far. And so they got their pieces to drop first. The other tribes got their puzzle pieces to fall within 2 trips.
What was the
but-
puzzle? I don't remember.
It was just a round puzzle. It was just like
Season 40.
yeah,
It
just
was
Okay.
like the logo.
Okay, yeah.
But it
They
was
had
the
put
round
like,
one. They were
flat
trying.
on the table.
Yeah,
not
they were like
one of
pounding
the-
them in to get them to fit in. So Yara wins. Sophie and Ben complete the puzzle first. Good pump up. And this time, 2 tribes were winning. So only 1 tribe was going to tribal council. And it came down to seconds between the Sele tribe, which was Wendell and Michelle,
I know.
and the
Oh,
DeCall
Wendell.
tribe, Denise and Jeremy. Wendell tries to showboat, but like you said, I
But Kyle didn't say
understand.
it last time, right? I agree.
I understand because was that in this season or that was in his previous
season
season?
he won.
The previous one, yeah.
He
Yeah.
won and Jeff didn't see it. And didn't they have to go back and review
No,
something?
he just didn't win because he won. He finished the puzzle and he backed up and he went like this. And then somebody finished and he was like, "I was done." And Jeff said, "You didn't say anything.
anything.
You have to say
So he
something."
panicked and wanted them
Mhm.
over there, but he still had 2 pieces to go. So the
Right.
seconds it took him to say, "Jeff, get over here,"
Right, they
allowed
had
to
one.
call to
That's
get the
twice
pieces
now he's
in.
done that. He did it with the ball thing, and like I think that was kind of like
That was
being,
cocky.
being cocky, but at the same time, like he's
He
always
did-
got that in the back
He
of his
didn't want
mind.
to make that
When
mistake
he's
again.
close, he doesn't want to
Yeah.
screw it up.
Yeah. So after they lose the challenge, it cuts back to the Sele tribe. They get back to their camp, and Michelle is immediately apologizing as soon as they get back because she feels like it's on her, even though she knows it was Wendell that was like
Right.
distracted during the puzzle. And Nick is pissed at Wendell for showboating, is how he puts it.
Yeah, I would have been too.
So Nick and Yule at this point, they really want to vote Wendell out, but they want to tell Wendell they're voting Michelle. It's kind of their plan.
Mhm.
So Wendell, though, now is to his. I think he realizes he's kind of pissed everybody off, the guys on his tribe. So now he wants to vote with Michelle and wants to vote out Yule.
Yep.
That becomes his target.
And Michelle's so stupid.
All Michelle has been worried about the last like 3 episodes is fire tokens
I know.
when nobody's used them.
I think they're still they've become this curiosity because they know about them.
But they haven't used them yet. We're like,
Right.
Tyson's used it, but
But
he's
they-
on the edge.
They all got to
Right.
feel like at some point those fire tokens are going to have value because they've gone. They're 18 days in now,
Yeah.
so they know at some point they got to be useful for something.
Right. So at this point, Nick and Michelle are talking, and they have realized, okay, Yule's voting Wendell. Wendell's voting Yule. We have the kind of power here to figure out which way this is going to go.
Mhm.
And it cuts to tribal. So Wendell talks about how, like, losing and being by so close, and that's worse than like just losing by a lot, being that close to it.
He admits he showboated a little bit, but I still think in the back of his mind
He's worried about, yeah,
finishing the puzzle and Jeff not noticing.
right.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then they go to talk about kind of the players that are left, and I think it might have been Jeff that pointed out that Yule's the only old school player left on this tribe.
Mhm.
And it's harder for the old school players because the play is so different now. Like, even for him, I think idols might not even have been as big as they
No, I
are
don't think they
now
were.
back when Yule played. So now you got fire tokens in there as well. So it's another anxiety almost in the game. As much as it's an
Right.
advantage, it's still the not knowing what these are going to be used for.
And the social play is so much different than it was when he did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
the paranoia is not there because they didn't have idols before, right?
And if they did, he might have been one of the first seasons maybe to have it if they did, and they weren't like they are now. It wasn't like as soon
A
as
be-all,
one's playing,
end-all.
another one's in the game, and oh my god, we
Right.
gotta go looking
Yeah.
for it and all that. So Wendell then talks about how there's not a lot of trust in the game, and he kind of throws Michelle under the bus here. and saying that even though he knows her, he may not want to like sit next to her.
Hmm.
At this point, I'm thinking like, girl was sat to Michelle. Like
Right.
he's now throwing you under the bus again. Like all these times, he's just like, it's like kicking a dog and it comes back.
Well,
and
they
tries to
get
kiss
your head
you.
out of your pants.
Oh,
Well, that's
Stop thinking with your
Michelle in a
undercarriage and
nutshell.
let's
I
go.
know. So yeah, Michelle gets mad.
Wendell treats her like shit. She goes running back. Treats her
Right.
like shit. She goes running back.
Here's flowers. Here's flowers. Like it
Except
just,
now it's
That
like,
was a really,
fire
really
token.
good.
Right.
here's a fire
No.
token.
That was a really, really good sound effect. How you went that? That was really good.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
so so Michelle gets mad, and Wendell can immediately tell he made a mistake. And so he's now trying to apologize at Tribal, like, oh my God, that's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. Babe,
Oh,
honey, babe, it's not what I
it's
meant.
tough guy mentality. Psst, I don't need you. Wait.
But I do. So I think he was really scared. Oh my God, she could vote me out. Like
Right.
he tries to be all like nonchalant and cocky, but then it's like things could change really fast. So this was interesting, this whole dynamic here. So Nick then states that if he was voted to go to the Edge, he would still want to work with those three people, Yul, Wendell, and Michelle.
Mhm.
Okay. Where Wendell is like, nah, I wouldn't want to work with you if you guys voted me out. And then Yul's thought was, it would be hard to want to work with you again, but I'd want to keep my options open. But
Right.
it would just be better if you don't vote me out.
Right.
Mhm.
Kind of that little bit of that twisted ultimatum in there. I don't think Michelle really gave her opinion. So, like
No.
with Nick, I understand what he was saying. Like if you, because sometimes it does get hard. Sometimes you are down to 4 and you would love those 4 to go on, but you got to make a choice.
Right.
But then I sit and think, okay, so you come back in the game and work with them when it gets down to 4 and has to go to
Are they
3,
gonna
you're
cut
be the
you
one
off
to go.
again? Right.
So it's like, how much can, you can trust them to get you to 4. They're not going to get you any further in the game if they voted you out now. So I understand where he was coming from, but I still was like, well, not so much. So they voted. Unfortunately, it was Yul, which
I
was
know.
Marty's second person to go to the Edge, but he
Marty.
already has one that's went out. Marty, you just don't have good luck.
Did he have
He
Sandra?
doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So he's
You
down
should
to,
have traded Sandra to Roe.
so he's
I know.
officially down to one person.
Mhm.
Yul may make it back in the game though. I'm not totally counting him out.
I like him. He's good.
He's, I think, going to be a little feisty, a little scrappy.
Mhm.
And Yul gave his fire tokens. He gave one to Sophie and one to Sarah. Because I believe, were they on his tribe before? Yeah, so they were on the original DeCall tribe together. So he gave one to each of them.
Which I thought was cool to see
Me
him
too.
split.
Me
Mhm.
too. He's trying to stay loyal,
Do they
to-
have to give those tokens up?
Yes. They have to bequeath them to somebody else
Mhm.
from the sign.
Okay.
Um,
Because they could just, it'd be cool. They were like, you know what? I'm going to keep them, go to the Edge and be like, oh, there's a menu here.
right.
I
Yeah.
would be-
No, they
Exactly.
have to give them, because basically they have to go to the Edge and almost like start over
Yeah.
with nothing. So I'm curious as to how Yul will be welcomed into the Edge. I think
There's a
that
lot
might
of
be
old
a
school
different-
players though in there, I feel like.
There is, but I feel like none that he would, like he even said before, remember they were, and his original DeCall tribe, they were forming kind of people that had alliance, or people that
together.
knew people and people that didn't have anybody
Right.
else.
Mhm.
And he was in that
Yeah,
other,
but he is on, Jillian's got a point though. He's at the Edge. Most of those people on the Edge are all the old school players,
right.
which I don't know where you draw the line, what's new school, old school, but that's how they've divided it. He's at that point where
Right, but his original DeCall tribe didn't divide it that way. They divided into people that had connections in the game and people that didn't have connections.
Who
He
was on
didn't
his
have it.
Who was on his side back then? Do you remember like based on
Wendell, Nick.
so two of his people right there are they
Yeah.
vote.
Wendell, Nick, and
Well then maybe you start new and go with the other people, like Rob and Parvati and all them.
yeah.
they're going to have to, I think they're going to bring back at least 2 people from Extinction like they did last time.
I hope
Not
so.
initially. Well, that's the thing. Last time they all competed, somebody got back in and they could stay if they
Yes.
wanted still and compete later again.
Isn't that when
Mhm.
Chicken Girl went home?
She chose, and she never. I think didn't she just leave,
No.
or she competed once and
Peter
left?
once, she was like, I'm going home.
Wendy.
Let the chickens out.
Stop. So in the previews, it does show they drop their buffs and they merge.
Mhm.
So they are merging with what, 11 people?
Yeah, it's an odd number.
Yes, we said the lip. Yep.
And I think
Do we think they're gonna merge and they're gonna have the challenge
that's
from
what I'm
the
thinking.
edge?
Because there's 11 people.
Oh.
So I think they merge. I don't think we get this big scuttlebutt in the beginning about what back at camp and what
Camp.
happened. They're just everybody's gonna go back. There might be a brief when people are getting back, but they're gonna go and they're just gonna
Like a
merge.
reunion,
Drop the
and then
buffs,
they're
yeah.
yep.
Right. They're gonna make some sort of
Because I was
commentary about
wondering,
that.
are they gonna merge, have everybody there together, and then have the challenge for the edge people
Because
come back?
they watched last time, correct?
Yes, I thought they
okay.
did too, because they were able to cheer them on.
Yes.
So I wonder if that's gonna happen, and then are they still gonna have a single immunity? Like maybe they won't have a reward challenge this time. Maybe they'll do the edge challenge and then go right to the immunity challenge where it's single. And sometimes, a lot of times at the beginning here, they would do a woman wins and a man wins immunity
Mhm.
for the first couple because there's so many of them.
I think they bring them back from extinction. I think they also all find out what the tokens are good for now that they're all on one island.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now that they're going to merge and all be together. It'd be like extinction. You're all at one place
Mm-hmm.
as opposed
Right.
to like people in various places. It just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, hopefully they let them go to the original DeKalb tribe because that was the one that Wendell originally built that shelter.
Or they'll have to redo
We all
everything,
want
and
to go there.
and they won't be there. They'll have to literally remake everything. But I think actually in the previews and on things I've seen on Instagram, they're at one already, like already made. So I think it might be that one.
Might be that one. Might be
Yeah.
that one. Cool. Any other thoughts?
I want my $20.
I know. You got to get it from her eventually.
Does
I'm
she have-
quarantined. I've
does
been
she have-
back in New York
Ro,
for 2 weeks.
Ro, do you have PayPal?
Right. Venmo, anything?
No, I want cash.
Oh.
Cash money.
I want Ro to
She can
hand it
give you
over to me.
a mask. She just made some.
No, I'm good.
He doesn't have to go out of the house. He's working from home.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, enjoy
Oh, this
watching
was a
tomorrow.
this was a nice thing. So we can do this like Thursday or Friday for like tomorrow's, you know?
Yeah.
So like, it's not
Everybody
bad.
enjoy watching tomorrow's, and
Don't get voted out and give me my $20.
hopefully we don't have to call you. If we do, we'll probably have you set up a Zoom, and you'll get to actually
Right.
be on
Ooh.
That's
the
fun.
video
That's
for the
fun.
first time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you add people later in the call?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Add participants.
Yep.
Or
All
invite.
right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.